Hey everybody, it's me, Cyrus. Well, this is an old computer that I want to test and see if it still works. It's mostly components that I found at a relative's house. Was in their garage for about 20 years. And there's several different components to it. This first one is a router. I did not test it, but not really any need to, really. But yeah, it was interesting to find that. Yeah, I'm sure it probably still works. These things are pretty simple. Yeah, doesn't even need an AC adapter, just has a standard PC power plug. Now this is a scanner, and again, I don't have any use for this scanner. It's a very old scanner. Probably still works. I didn't find an AC adapter for it that I could find. But I know that it will plug in with parallel port and also plug in with USB. So yeah, this is old school stuff right here, very old. I have a scanner built into the printer that I own, so obviously I don't have any use for something like this. And something this old, something 20 years old, actually over 20 years old, is probably not going to be working very well with modern stuff, and probably not scanning very quickly. This is a computer. It's an e-machine. I did look up the specs on this thing. It has a 400 megahertz Celeron. It has 64 megabyte of RAM. Yeah. Shares that with video. It is designed for Windows 98, as you can see. Here in the front, this is interesting. It has a game port, and it also has a USB, and there's only one other USB port on this computer, and that's on the back of it. So yeah, pretty weird. But looks like the original keyboard, original mouse, everything seems to be there. It does actually work. I cleaned it up a little bit. Mouse and keyboard seem to be functional. The monitor was not in the garage. The monitor was in an office. It wasn't being used, and so it's not actually part of the rest of everything. But I was curious to see if it would turn on and what the picture would look like if it did turn on. And yeah, so this whole thing is sort of a mystery. What will happen here? What's going on? Okay, so here's the back of the computer. You can see very simple stuff. Yeah, it old school, aluminum case. It's pretty sturdy, but very limited. It's got an Ethernet port in the back, one USB serial port, parallel port, excuse me. And then here on the inside, you can see pretty simple stuff. The original hard drive is there, 8.5 gigabytes on that hard drive. It's old school hard drive. A little dusty, but everything seems to be there. It has the RAM chips. Nothing seems to be broken. I don't see any leaking from any of the capacitors or anything like that. So it actually looks pretty good inside of it. Wanted to get a little bit better look at the chip and everything, just to take a look. Now, the heatsink and the fan are in place and seem to be doing, what they need to do as far as that goes. There's an Intel chip there I wanted to get a look at, see what it was. But yeah, there's really not much to see. It's very simple on the inside. Very simple. Lots of room. So not a lot going on. And there you go. But yeah, very simple stuff. And like I said, it definitely could have been in a lot worse shape. So I was actually pretty pleasantly surprised about that. As far as that hard drive goes, it is an IDE hard drive from 1999. Yeah, 8.5 gigabytes. And I was curious looking at the motherboard to see if it had any support for anything other than IDE natively. There's your power supply information. Pretty simple, low spec power supply. Yeah. Not a lot to this computer. I didn't see any other interfaces on the motherboard for SATA or anything like that. So it looks like it's very basic stuff. It's good that it has some expansion slots. I think there was 2 PCI and 1 ISA, but not a lot more than that. The monitor, I think, is in pretty good shape. I like the little tray on the top, the speakers on the bottom, and you can adjust things on the side with the volume. So that's pretty cool. Okay, well, I got everything plugged in. The mouse, the keyboard, the monitor, the speakers. Power is plugged in for everything. I'm going to go ahead and pull that disc out. We don't need that. Yeah, so let's see if this thing turns on. I don't have the internet hooked up to it. It's just offline. But let's see what we get. Okay, monitor seems to be coming on. Alright, let's turn this thing on, see if it works. This thing has not been turned on in like 20 years. .5 gigabyte hard drive, which I don't even know if works. It does seem to be booting. It's a little bit off to the side. Not sure how to fix that. Size and position. Horizontal position. Oh. There we go. We'll see how that does. CMOS settings wrong. CMOS display type wrong. Huh. Let's try F2 and see if it starts. Celeron, trademark, 400 megahertz. American Megatrends, 1999. Not sure yet. These old computers can take a really long time to boot. Plus, this thing's, like I said, have been sitting in a garage for 20 years. Monitor works good, at least so far. Okay, drive not ready. Insert boot disk in A. Okay, well, that's not good. This disk was in the drive when I got it. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, it's not a boot disk. Well, that's not good. There is a Windows disk in this box. It's not in great condition. I don't even know if this is Windows 98 second edition. I think it might just be Windows 98. Alright, let me see what I can figure out. Well, I was able to get into the BIOS setup, and this is what it looks like. So, let's see if it detects anything for the hard drive. I have a feeling that hard drive is probably not good. In fact, that's probably why this thing was sitting in the garage and wasn't ever like touched again, because I think something probably went wrong with the hard drive. It's taking a while. Alright, here we go. Nope, no hard drive detected. Did find a CD-ROM. Well, that sucks. This thing's not going to get going unless I replace that hard drive, and it is one of those old school IDE hard drives. And that is not something I'm interested in doing. Well, at least the hardware works. You know, as far as the computer itself, CPU, you know, the BIOS. There was an issue with the CMOS. So, I'm not saying it's 100% functional, but yeah, could be worse. Well, I don't think I'm going to get anywhere here. I think this is a dead end unless I replace that hard drive. And I don't see myself doing that. So, to be continued, maybe? I don't know. It's an interesting computer.